you pull out your phone. Of course, you download the mobile app. You click on QR code, and then you scan right here. And once you scan this right here, everything's going to automatically load for you. And when you open up your app, you're going to be presented with your dashboard, and you're going to have this right here. Hello everybody, let's go ahead and get this tutorial started. First thing you're going to do is go to k12.instructor.com, as you can see here on the screen. Now you're not going to have an account right away, so we're going to click on create an account. And here there's a few different options, but what you really want to focus on is I'm a teacher. You're not going to do parent, we're going to do teacher. Go ahead and just type in your own name and then put in your email that you would like to use. So of course it's going to be your personal email. Just go ahead and type that in and click you agree, you're not a robot, and go ahead and click on start teaching. After that, you'll be entered into the Canvas welcome screen, and from here you just want to go ahead and get started. I recommend that you go ahead and verify your email. As you can see, it's still asking for verification, so just go ahead and go over to your email account, whichever one you used, and I used Gmail, and you'll see email confirmations here that they want you to confirm your registration, excuse me. So I'll just click on one of these links here, and then I will click here to finish the registration process. Right, and then it's going to ask me to create my own password. It doesn't really show any like requirements of the password, but what you certainly can do is try, see what happens, and press register. It'll let you know if you need more characters or not. I just use a very simple password, and then you're in. Okay, so now that we're in, the first thing that I like to do is just change the color settings here. I don't really like the colors I'm seeing, so I usually turn on the high contrast. Once you do that, you need to refresh the page so you can actually see what happens, but that's a little bit easier on the eyes for me. So the first thing that we want to do is start a new course. I know we haven't got to the point of adding students yet, or actually using this on your mobile devices or your cell phones. We certainly will get there, but first we have a few steps that we have to do on the computer first. So let's go ahead and start a new course. We can name it anything we want. I guess for this example, I'm just going to say, let's do kindergarten language arts. And once you do that, you're going to get to this course details page. And there's a lot of different things you can do here. I've made images of for each course through canva.com, which is a free service. Everybody can do that as well. I believe the dimensions are 262 by 147 pixels. But let's go ahead and just pick an image, and here let's go ahead and find language art. So here we go. This is one that I made from a template from Canva, and as you can see, it's 262 by 147 pixels. So I'm going to go ahead and press open here, and automatically you'll go ahead and see the language arts and literature image that I created. So of course you can get as creative as you like with that, and this is just going to be a blank course, so we can literally do whatever you want to do here. For me, I am going to set it to my particular time zone, just to change that there. I find this one to be very important. You can do it however you want to. You can set it as a term. I like to call it a course because that's what I feel like this is. This is a course. You can set start dates and end dates. For now, I'm going to keep it simple though and not do that. So everything else here looks pretty good except for one option down here. We do need to go to the bottom and click on more options. Now, this is what's important for making sure that you can add your student to your class, which of course in this situation would be your child. It's very important that you do this, because otherwise, just like you created an account for teachers, you would need to create an account for students for your child, and you don't want to put in an email address unless you have an email address for your child. You can do it that way, but it gets a little bit more complicated. Doing it this way, once we get to creating a student account, you don't actually need an email. So it sounds a little confusing now, but it'll make sense later. So the first thing we want to do is click on let students self-enroll, which is important. And then after that, you want to do click on this option here that says add a join this course link. So once we click on that, you can finally go ahead and click on update course details. And when you do that, it's going to say course was successfully updated. And then when you scroll down, you will now see this join code, and you're going to want to write this down or come back to it later, either or. But this is what you're going to need when you create your first student account for your child. So this is very important here, and it avoids having to create emails and do all these other things for your child for every course that you create. So yeah, so that's where we're at now. As of now, this course is unpublished. It's not published yet. You can publish it now if you like, but all this basically means is no one can really join the course all the way or participate into the course until it's actually published correctly. So I'm just going to go ahead and head back to my dashboard over here, and here we go. It looks pretty cool. You know, this is kindergarten language arts. So if I go ahead and click on this, it takes me back into it. And now it's going to ask me to create a module or do other things in here, whatever I would like to do. If I want to create assignments, you name it. So it's not absolutely necessary to create a module, but I like making modules. Today is August 18th, 2023. So let's look at this calendar over here. Let's see what we got going on. So let's say I wanted the first module or the first week of class to start next week. The module can be anything you want to. It could be a whole school year if you like. It could be a month, it could be 2 months, or it could be by the week. I'm gonna just do it for simplicity's sake, week by week. So let's go ahead and create a module for next week. So I'm gonna create a new module, and for me, I'm just gonna call it week 1, something simple. So this is gonna be the first week of the kindergarten language arts class. After that, what I want to do is add some more information. I can create an assignment, which would be great, but I like to do some text headers. So let's just call this week 1, which is from August 20th through August 26th. So let's just say August 20th to August 26th. I mean, we can do 2023, like. Go ahead and add item. So now we know when we're in week 1, we're dealing with this here. And then we're just going to make a couple assignments. So I'm going to make another header. This is just for me. And you don't have to do this, of course, but I'm going to go ahead and indent this header. Then I'm going to say all assignments due by, let's see, Saturday. Oops. Saturday, August 26th. Okay, so those are just text headers. You don't actually submit anything there, of course. And then from there, let's just make some blank assignments. So now I can go back up to assignment. I'm going to create an assignment, and let's just call this assignment 1. Now, if you were part of a homeschool curriculum, if you, let's say there's like 120 lessons or so, you can divide and do the math of how many lessons you want to teach per week in order to make it line up with what's going to happen throughout the rest of the school year. So if you want to do 3 lessons a week or 4 lessons a week, whatever have you. Matter of fact, I'll just call it lesson. Let's do lesson 1. And then you can title it whatever you want to. We're going to go ahead and add this item. And then I'm going to click on the lesson itself so I can actually go into it. I can edit it here. And then from here, I can put whatever I want to, you know, this week's, or this lesson will cover, you know, X, Y, Z. Or I guess it's kindergarten, let's say ABC. From here, you can set the point value to wherever you want to. It doesn't even have to be completed by points. You can do it as complete or incomplete. If you don't want to actually like grade lessons, you can just say, hey, mark as complete, mark as incomplete. For my child, I actually like doing the point system because, you know, of course we all want our children to succeed. And if I make it every assignment out of 10 points, let's say that, you know, today my child didn't have the best day, then I can give them an 8 out of 10, you know, to show and put some comments that, hey, they needed to work on this or that, or weren't as responsive as possible or as necessary. So And if they do a really good day in homeschooling for that day, I give them 10 points. That way I do have somewhat of actual grade. And again, this is all just record keeping for the child's future. But I like using the point system, and I'll get into grading assignments later and how effective that is. As of now, this is going to be assigned to everybody. Don't really need to do much, but of course you can add images, you can upload PDF files, you can do a lot of different things. But for me, as of now with kindergarten, I have a actual homeschool curriculum. We're using the Good and Beautiful curriculum, and I have the actual physical books for that, so everything's done on paper. And now that I'm speaking of that, I'm going to say the submission type is actually on paper, meaning that the student doesn't have to actually do anything, of course, in the system. And it works perfectly for me. So as they complete their assignments on paper, I can go to lesson 1 after they're done, and I can go in there and I can actually grade it, and I can mark them as attendance for that day and then actually grade the assignment. That works perfectly for me here. Like I said, really simple concept here. I'm going to go ahead and click save. If I go back to, where was I at? I was at the modules, or even if I go home, let's go home again. You'll see the modules now. Now we have lesson 1, that's worth 10 points. If I want to duplicate this, I can. Let's duplicate it again. And I'm just going to edit these, quick edit. Let's change this to lesson 2. And let's change this to lesson 3. Now we have 3 different lessons. So now for week beginning on August 20th through week August 26th, 2023, we have 3 lessons due for our kindergarten class, and it must all be due by Saturday, August 26th. So really simple. If I want to duplicate this module, I can do it again, and then I can use that as a template to go ahead and edit this, change it to week 2. And then we're going to change the dates from, let's say, August 27th through September 2nd. So let's go ahead and change that. Edit August 27th through September 2nd. Update. And then all the assignments are going to be due on Saturday for this. And again, this is really just your curriculum. You can do whatever you want to do here. Then from there, we can change these as well. So lesson 4, perfect. And then we can rinse and repeat, or copy and paste, and do this all over again until we get to wherever we need to be. So now at this point, what you can do is hit the publish all, because as of now, you see these like these no symbols, meaning they're not published. So if a student were to join this class right now, they wouldn't see these assignments because they haven't been published yet. And technically, again, if your student is in kindergarten, you're not going to expect them to log in and do anything like this anyway. You're going to be doing it all as a teacher anyway. But let's say the student is a little older and they do have access to Canvas, where they can actually do it themselves. Then they can submit assignments another type of way, so what have you. Nonetheless, I think it's better to publish it anyway. So I can click here and do publish a module and all items, or just only publish the module only, and then choose which ones I want to have published individually, or I can just go up here and just publish it, everything, you know. So we're going to publish all modules and all items, excuse me. So go ahead, hit continue, and now everything's all published. Again, if I go home, which is where I'm at, everything looks great here. If I go back to my dashboard, okay, it's here, but again, as you can see here, it's still not published. You could have done this earlier, but I think this is good enough for the example. I'm gonna hit publish here, and now we have a published course. Now, of course, you can name this whatever you want to name it. If I click on this again, I like using kind of like course IDs, I guess you can say. So in my settings, the course code, what I would use would probably be like, let's do like English kindergarten. This will work for me. So I'm thinking of a naming scheme. You can always change this at any point, but that's what I'm going to do here. Update course. And now when I go back to my dashboard again, now you can see that's the course code, but it's really kindergarten language arts. And that's it for the teacher side of things for now. Now I want to jump into what it's like for getting this set up for a student. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is go ahead and go to my account, and I'm going to log out. Now I'm back to this again, where it's the K12.instructor.com, and I'm gonna create another account. But this time I'm gonna do it as a student. And again, you don't want to use the parent one. Even if you're a parent and you're teaching your child, the teacher role is much better for you because you are actually the administrator. You can set assignments, you can, create modules, you can grade. There's a lot of things you can do with the teacher account. Where parents, it's more of like an observer role. So if your student was actually in school, and I guess the school district was using this, and the student had to sign in, of course the parents can sign up, and then you can see the student's progress, such as grades and things like that, assignments that are due. But you would never really be able to grade your own child's work. So in this scenario, as a homeschool parent, you're always going to be the teacher, not the observer role as a parent. So now I'm going to click on I'm a student, because we're creating a student account. And this is where you need that join code. And remember, you get that join code from clicking on settings and coming down right here. So I'm just going to copy and paste it, but of course you can write it down, make a notes of it however you want to. So once you're here, you're going to put that join code right there, and then you're going to make an account for your child. So the full name of the child, let's just call them John Smith. And the username can be whatever you want to, but it can't be taken. So in this scenario, I'm just going to do john.smith. And I can just throw any number on there. Let's just do 101. You don't have to do that, but I'm not sure if john.smith is taken, so I'm just trying to make it a little bit mixed up. But john.smith 101, right? And then you can create a password for your child. All right, then you're gonna click that you agree. You're not a robot, and then you can do start learning. All right, and as you see right away, as soon as you log in, everything's already listed right here, and it pops directly into this course because this is the only course that's been assigned to them technically, and that's a join code that you just used. But if you go back to the dashboard, here we go. Now the student view of this is that they're part of this language arts and literature class. Again, we haven't got to the point where you use the mobile app yet, but we will, and it's actually pretty cool. So again, for me, just for my eyes, for some reason, I gotta turn on this high contrast. That's just too bright for me. And I'm gonna hit refresh, and here we go. Now, at this point, there's really nothing else that you need to do for the student role, especially if they're in kindergarten, because the student is never actually going to sign in and do this, or do anything and like submit assignments or anything like that at this age. But it does enroll them into the course for you, because otherwise you couldn't do that. So as of now, I'm pretty much done with the student side of things. So now we have a student named John Smith. Go ahead and log out, and let's log back into your personal, or your teacher account. Okay, now we're back in, and if you were to click on this now when you click on people, you can see, hey, my name for this account is Homeschool Parents. That's my email that I just used. But now we have a student enrolled in our class, which is awesome. And now we're ready to start, tracking progress. So if I wanted to grade this assignment, which is of course something that you kind of would want to do, you can click on the lesson. And now that you're here, you have this option for speed grader. And I typically don't grade on the computer, to be honest with you. I just grade on my phone. I do the lessons with my child, and then I pull my phone out, open the app, and I grade them right then and there. But for just showing how to do it on the computer, you can go ahead and click speed grader. And then we're right here on John Smith. How did they do? What is your score out of 10? Let's say John did really great today, and you can do some comments if you want to, just for your records or not. It's definitely not mandatory, but it's optional. You can say John was great today, great, or John struggled with his Y letter today, and we're going to work on it better next time. Whatever you want to do. Click submit. Your comments have been submitted. Great. Now we're going to go ahead and head back. Click on lesson 1 there. I can go to grades now, and now we can see that on the first lesson, John got a 10 out of 10, and he has currently 100% in the class, which of course would be an A. So that's fantastic. Again, if you don't want to do this, you can just do complete, incomplete, whatever grading scheme you really want to do, and just mark off that it was actually completed. Another thing that I like here is you can actually track your attendance too, because if you ever are required by your county or your district to track attendance, then here we go. So I'm gonna go down here to attendance, and then I am going to click on John Smith, or actually we're already here for Friday the 18th. So let's say he did that today. We can click on more, and then we can mark John as present, and there we go. Now John has been present on August 18th. He got ahead of the game, I guess, and he was present in class today. He did lesson number 1 today, even though it wasn't due until next Saturday, and he got 100%. So John is doing stellar, because you know, you're an awesome homeschool parent and you're doing everything right. So that's pretty much it for the computer side, and that's how you track every day and, you know, keep up on grades and attendance, and organize your lesson plans or however you see fit, especially if you're just putting them as placeholders to actual physical content that you have, that you're doing with your student every day. So that's it for the computer side of things. Now let's go ahead and switch this over to the mobile side of things. But what you need to do to get this on your phone, what you actually end up doing is downloading the Canvas teacher app. So Teachers for Canvas or Canvas Teachers, from your any app store that you use. And then when you sign in, what it's going to do is ask you for a QR code. How you get that QR code is from the teacher module. You click on account, and then you click on QR for mobile login, which is exactly what we're trying to do right now. So click on QR for mobile login. You're going to confirm that you do want to display it. Now it is time sensitive. It's not going to be it for too long. But we're going to go ahead and hit proceed. And at this point, the code expires in 10 minutes. Like I said, it's time sensitive. You pull out your phone. Of course, you download the mobile app. You click on QR code, and then you scan right here. And once you scan this right here, everything's going to automatically load for you. And when you open up your app, you're going to be presented with your dashboard, and you're going to have this right here. So you can click on the course, and you can do everything I just did on here as far as grading and in attendance. And like I say, it's really speedy and it's really cool. I do want to give one more quick example. Let's make another course, and this time let's do kindergarten math, right? And this time I'm going to change this to math K. Let's go ahead and choose the image once more. I should have math in here. I'll do math, and change this here too. Now what's interesting about this one is you don't have to get this join code again. You don't need to go through all that process because your child already has an account now. Update the course details here. I'm going to go ahead and publish this, because again, if the course is not published, then the students won't see it. So let's go ahead and go back to the dashboard. It's been published. So now what I'm going to do is go back into it. Just want to verify it was published. Go back into it and then go back to people again. This time when we go to people, you can add somebody. You can add a student. You wouldn't be able to do this before because there's no other with your child before if they don't have an account, because you have to add them some type of way. You have to add them with an email address, which of course, unless your child has an email address, you can do that. But then you would have to sign them up and go through the whole process anyway. Or now we can just use their login ID. So for this, I'm going to do John Smith 101. because that's the login we created, and we're going to add them as a student. Of course, we're not going to add them as a teacher or anybody else, but if you have 2 parents at home, you can add another teacher if you want. But nonetheless, for this one, we're just going to do john.smith101. I'm going to go next, and then I'm going to click on, it says K12 free for teacher, which of course all this is free. And then we're going to go ahead and add users. And it says pending because technically you should sign back in to your child's account and just click approve, basically, which I can show you. But I think you get the gist of that. It's really simple to get rid of that little pending thing. But ultimately, they're enrolled in the class already. And that's basically it. I mean, just to do this really quick, let's go ahead and create a quick assignment. Let's do lesson 1. Let's do 10 points. Let's say this mission is on paper, and we're going to save and publish it. Just get everything nice and published already. And even though under people it shows that he's still pending, your child is still pending, you can go in there and approve it or not, underneath the child's account. And then I believe you can still grade them and go to speed grader. And whether or not John Smith approves it or not, or your child approves it or not, you go to their account and approve it or not, you can still grade them and do everything as if they're not pending, which is great. So again, that join code is only for the first time. Go back to people. All right, excuse me, I should go back to grades. And we can see already that they're being graded. We can, of course, go back to attendance. And then we can mark them today. Let's say you missed a day or something. It doesn't have to be on that day. Let's say next Monday. You wouldn't really want to grade them in the future, so that's for intensive purposes. Let's say that he did math yesterday. You can always go back to yesterday and then mark them as present for yesterday. And you have a really nice way. You can export all this information. You can export grades. You can export the attendance roll call. There's so many options here, and then I've only touched on a couple of these. You can reorganize these. You can move attendance up, assignments up, modules up. There's so many things that you can do. But as of now, I just really wanted to give you a very introductory course on how to use Canvas in order to use your mobile devices to grade assignments on the go or away from your computer, as well as showing you how to set up lesson plans. So I really hope that you all were able to get something from this. And if you have any questions, just go ahead and leave them in the comments below. Reach out to me. And if you want to see more content like this, please let me know. Tell me exactly what you're looking for, and I can go ahead and show you information on that too. Moreover, there's also ways that you can import courses. So I can make, I guess, for example, we can go ahead and start a new course. This one I'm going to name preschool. I'm going to hit create. I was going to do this really fast, so bear with me. I'm going to hit update course details, so it's done. So after I've done this, all I'm going to do is go ahead and go to Commons, and I'm going to do a whole nother tutorial on this, but I just want to show you something really briefly. Then you can, I believe there's quite a few courses. I made this little template here. You can do import download, do it to preschool, import the course. It shows I've successfully imported the course. Let's go back to my dashboard. It might take a few minutes, as it said. All right, and after a little bit of time, everything gets imported. So as you can see, I had some due dates on here already. Sometimes the due dates import, sometimes the due dates don't import. I created due dates for each assignment so I can kind of see where I'm at, but it's not necessary. You can just have them all due by the end of the week. We got to make sure that we publish this. It imports all the information that was already there. Hit publish. And it's really simple. I mean, that's like the fastest way to do it, of course. And then it's already there. And then you just have the student, you add the student to join. For example, in this scenario, I can go to people and I can do add, and I can just add John Smith by using John Smith 101, etc., etc. So yeah. If you want more courses like this, please let me know. If you have some subjects that you wanted me to do in particular, if you have a curriculum that you want me to cover and do, or whatever it may be, just reach out to me. Let me know in the comments. This is my first time making a video like this. So just tell me what you guys need, or what you all need, not just you guys, you gals as well. Let me know what you need. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video.